Hi Dr. Moody, it's Georgia. I'm making peach cobbler. So I'm gonna start by blanching the peaches. I got my boiling water right here. I'm gonna put the peaches in here, and this is gonna be my ice water right here. Whoops. Two of them are floating and one of them is sinking. I don't know why. Also, I made a little cut at the very bottom to help the skin come off. Alright, here's all the cut up peaches. They don't look too great, but that makes sense because it's not peach season at all. In fact, I tried one and they taste like nothing, so that's really disappointing. I have canned peaches in case this doesn't work out. Here's where I put all the peels and the pits. I'm thinking of maybe boiling them and seeing if I can get the pectin out and making a jelly. But I won't bring that in because I don't know if it's gonna go well for me. Anyway. Hi, Pigeon! Alright, Dr. Moody, so my recipe said to put the butter into the pan. It did not say chop it up, but I couldn't imagine that they meant a whole stick, so I did that. Here's my dry ingredients, and here's my milk. It said to combine the milk with the dry ingredients and then pour that over the butter, and then put the peaches on top, which sounds wrong, but I've never made peach cobbler before, and to be fully honest with you, I don't like peach cobbler. It's just not my thing. So we're really just going by vibes, you know? Alright, here's my wet ingredients. Time to pour them over the butter. Again, honestly, I'd use a different recipe, but it's Super Bowl weekend, and it's Sunday, so if I tried to go to the store right now, it'd be a very bad time. And I've made a tiny one to taste test, so that this one can be like whole and aesthetically pleasing for whenever. Aesthetically pleasing. It's gonna look bad, but it's gonna look better than if I had just taken a chunk out of it, so. Alright, Dr. Moody, so here is my peaches and some sugar and some lemon juice, and I'm supposed to bring it to a boil. I'm gonna put it on a low temperature, and let's see that boil. Alright, Dr. Moody, so right now I'm cooking my peaches and sugar. It said to boil it over high heat while stirring constantly, so that's what I'm trying to do. I know for a fact that the peaches are fresh peaches, so I think that they're going to have too much water in them and that I should add a thickener. It does not say to add a thickener, but like, let's be honest, I'm gonna need a thickener here in a minute. So I looked up how to make a thickener because I don't own cornstarch. So I knew I'd have to use flour. So I put 50% flour, 50% sugar in here because it said that the sugar helped it dissolve a little better. And then I'm going to take some of the liquid once this reaches the boiling point. I'm gonna put the liquid in there, make a little paste, throw some paste in here, mix it on up. Hopefully get a nice thick pie filling, or cobbler filling. Alright, so I poured out half of what the flour I already had in, because I thought, well, it said no thickener, so I'm only going to do a tiny bit of thickener. But here's what the mix looks like. I mixed the peach juice with the flour and sugar. I think I'm gonna add more flour. I'm really nervous about this. It's very liquidy. Unsurprising. I pulled it off the high heat burner and put it on the low heat burner. Alright, so I added my goo to my peaches. I pull it back into the high heat. I'm gonna stir that in really well. Okay, it does look like it's definitely making it a gross color, but we love a thick soup. So we're gonna bring it back up to a boil. Hopefully that'll activate those starches and thicken up this very watery dish. Alright, the peaches are good, so I'm going to pour them over my dish right here. Peaches have been boiled. Okay. It said not to mix it very specifically. How am I gonna do this? Just gonna hope for the best. A little bit more over here. Wow, this is not going too great for me, huh? In the tiny dish, a couple. There's only 2 peach slices left. Looks lovely. It's not gonna do anything. So this is what it looks like. It said I can sprinkle cinnamon on top. And I think I will, but I'm also gonna make a strudel to add on top, even though it said not, it didn't say to. I just think that it should have something on top. Yeah. Okay, thanks. All right, Dr. Moody. So the strudel recipe was mostly just flour, sugar, and butter. So unsurprisingly, it was pretty easy to make. Made a lot more than I anticipated, but I guess we have a big thing to cover, so hopefully that works out. I'm gonna go try to cover that up with strudel. All right, bad news, it is overflowing a little bit. I have a pan underneath it in the oven because I was pretty sure it was gonna overflow, but that's not a great sign in my opinion. Throw some strudel over it, and then throw it back in. Oh God, this doesn't look good for, on the bright side, it does look like it has stuff on top now, and I knew that it needed stuff on top. Because that's just how I imagine cobblers looking. Also, the strudel recipe said to just throw it in, and at the same time, you put in the baked good. So hopefully this doesn't catch on fire or anything. I don't have enough sugar left to make another one. Let's just go crazy with this stuff. I got a ton of it. Oh, that was a little too crazy. Thanks, oven. Call that good enough. Time to put her back in. Do this fast. We don't have the oven. Shit. Ow. Hi, Dr. Moody. If you remember the strudel that I just made probably 10 seconds ago for you, it no longer exists. It's just not there anymore. Alright, Dr. Moody, it's ready to come out of the oven. Okay. Right up there. Ooh, I definitely overlooked the tiny one. I should have remembered to take it out much sooner than this, but I didn't. Take it off. Alright. So here's what the big one looks like. It doesn't look too bad. I've seen much worse. Here's the tiny one. It does look pretty bad. All right, here's the small one all dressed up. It's certainly not horrible. I think that the peaches are they're pretty good. I'm surprised. The peaches didn't have very much flavor when I first, like, what is it, braised, boiled?
Braised? Did you boil them?
No, I used some kind of, what is this thing? Blanched. I used them.